So, I am disabled. People do exploit me because of my disabilities. And I am easy to exploit because of my disabilities. Now, Danell Boggs wanted to make a bunch of arguments that were absolutely not valid, and she knew this. There's no way that she didn't know this if she was a social worker. She picked up some bad habits at TFCC. That's Tillamook Family Counseling Center. On the front of this, it's a Class A criminal offense. Criminal, not civil. And up to a $2,000 fine. Now, I want you to consider that times every officer I've encountered. Nearly every mental health worker, no, every one of them, every mental health worker, every hospital worker, and in Nebraska it's a little different. In Nebraska, everyone is a mandatory reporter. Every single person in Nebraska. If you are in Nebraska right now, and somebody punches a 65-year-old or older in the face in front of you, that's elder abuse, and you are required by law to turn it in. If you are in the state of Nebraska and you are John Apolius and you walk by Doug Cowden's room in your house and you see Doug Cowden molesting an underage girl, then John Apolius, by law, you are required as a Nebraskan to turn that in, just as if you were a doctor. Just as if you were a social worker. It happens, right? But only if you let it happen. If you let it happen, it allows them to do it again. Is there a reason Rihanna Ingersoll did not like John Apolius? Or Stretch, aka Dave Roop? She did not like them. It's obvious that I am taken advantage of often. It is obvious that I am being taken advantage of because I can't take care of myself. It is obvious how easy it is for people to take advantage of me because I can't take care of myself. It is easy to see how people are allowed to victimize me because I can't take care of myself. It's easy to see that I am making desperate decisions because I am stuck in a desperate situation. Meanwhile, there's my medical history, and I've got my medical history. I've got quite a bit of it, actually. But do any of them take a look at it? No, they don't. They want to argue about how I have to have evidence. I have it. I brought it to show you. By the way, as far as disabilities go, it's not either physically disabled or mentally disabled. No, I'm both. Post-traumatic stress disorder does have an effect on people. Pretending that Natalie wasn't killed, pretending that I haven't been assaulted, pretending that people haven't been getting a hold of me and saying, Sean, people are threatening to kill my friends and family. Pretending that that didn't happen, is that what you want? You want me to pretend that I didn't save evidence? You want me to pretend that I wasn't victimized? You want to pretend that the financial victimization has not robbed me of all of my back pay for disability? I've been robbed of a place to live. Low income in Chapel, Nebraska was a last-ditch desperation thing. But I didn't have anybody there to help, no caseworker. Here's what happened when I got into Chapel housing after Natalie was killed. I got into housing. Jen Beebe was court-ordered, her and Nicole Peralta were court-ordered to do their jobs. And for 6 months, both of them ignored me. That's when I ended up with, of course, Megan Missigatis, all the way in Lincoln. She couldn't do anything because she was all the way in Lincoln. And no matter what, she couldn't do anything, especially at the very beginning. She couldn't, because somebody was sick, or she had cancer, or she had chemo brain, so she couldn't remember stuff. So I'm trying to explain that this is definitely not good for me. This lady has problems remembering shit. She's got a lot of her own personal problems, and she's telling me that she can't do any of the things I need a person to do. Meanwhile, she's supposed to be a go-between between me and the Danell County Sheriff's Department. She's supposed to try to help train them, but did she? No. She lost their number and forgot they exist. Really? Danell County Sheriff's Department are the ones who got me in contact with her. All the way over in Lincoln. No, I couldn't show her anything in person. She was all the way in Lincoln. I would have had to travel to Lincoln. At first, I thought she was in North Platte. My mistake. But what did she really do except ignore the situation when it really mattered? Until it came to a situation where I literally had to break windows because so many threats, harassment, and assaults were taking place. And because, obviously, going to her to try to get my paperwork taken care of in any of these places was going to be a not happening thing. It was going to be something where she didn't have the time and I was expected to understand it. But she wasn't telling the cops that she didn't have time. She wasn't telling the cops that she couldn't remember shit because she got chemo brain. And of course, this lady, Danell, she wanted to keep on interrupting me to talk about... I'm telling her about crimes in this state, and she wants to continually interrupt me to say that they probably can't do anything. Fuck what they can and can't do about other states. I'm telling you about crimes that are committed, and why. Why were they committed? Why were they committed? Yes, Natalie was killed in fucking Colorado, but the internet is not just in fucking Colorado. My fucking credit is not fucked just in Colorado. The slander is not on a fucking computer screen just in Colorado. People are not threatening me just on the internet. People are not harming me just on the internet. No matter what, it's always trying to talk circles into they don't have to do anything. No, you do have to do your job, and you trying to take advantage of disabled people like that is fucking horrible. But I bet she got paid. I bet you they billed the state. I have to record it and show that I did try. I did try. I keep trying. I don't have the ability to do what you're asking. I cannot do that from in my vehicle. And that officer using that as an excuse to blow me off. Well, can't you do it in your vehicle? No. But none of these people bother to look into it and realize what a condition I'm living in. And then there's the people who want to push housing. Now that's just insanity right there. I had housing, and for the entire time I had housing, the people who were... Alright, I'm back. Anyway, there's a difference between somebody who is in an extremely screwed up situation, having communication issues because they are being victimized and nobody will fucking listen, nobody takes it seriously. People don't speak up. They go in, if they go in with me, and they don't say a word. Like, I need you to speak up. I'm not showing you this stuff for no reason. I'm showing it to you because I'm going to get blown off if you don't fucking speak up. And you get to see how many people that I told the truth about wanted to be angry because I gave out their personal business. It wasn't their personal business. It was their excuses for not speaking up. Now we can see that there are definitely consequences in this state for people who don't do their jobs as mandated reporters. That includes the police. That includes mental health workers and doctors. That includes the people at Tillamook Family Counseling Center. This doesn't just take advantage of me financially, it takes advantage of you financially. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with your taxes being used to victimize me and send me somewhere else every time I'm victimized? Do you, as Americans, feel this is okay to treat you that way? I guarantee you, if I treat you that way, you won't like it. When I yell at you, do you like it? When I'm condescending, do you like it? When I curse at you, do you like it? No, you fucking don't. But then again, it seems to me that all these people, if they want to pretend like I'm a horrible person because I'm angry about them not doing their fucking jobs, maybe they should do their fucking jobs instead of play victim. They want to play victim, I can fucking play asshole, that's no problem. I'm used to playing asshole at this point. I need a friend or family member there who knows enough to speak up and when to. When a cop starts bullying me or starts talking over me with another narrative or starts sending me off to some other organization, no, these people need to get off their ass and do their jobs. And all it'll take is a friend or family member who's gonna fucking stand up for my fucking rights. I have the right to face my fucking accusers. I have the right to take my predators to court. I have the right to make a police report without fucking fear of being persecuted. And that's the problem. Fear of persecution is not a schizophrenic trait when you are being persecuted. When you are a homeless person, being afraid of being persecuted, well, you are persecuted. You're a homeless person. You are persecuted more than anyone else in America. You are persecuted more than blacks. You are persecuted more than whites. You are persecuted at a much higher rate. When you are homeless or called mentally ill or male, your life is going to suck. And if you put all three of those together, you're completely fucked. You put physical disabilities with that, and you ain't got much you're able to do. Meanwhile, I'm tearing my body apart, putting myself through severe quantities of pain to try to fulfill the obligations required to friggin' pretend, at least, to defend myself. On the bright side, I got a food stamp card, and I can get something to eat. Unfortunately, it's cost every penny that I've had from disability since 2017 has gone to try to protect myself from predators who are friends of Natalie Bollinger. To try to get something going, protect myself from people who wouldn't leave me alone, wouldn't let me see my friends and family, wouldn't let me go to my support network. And then, of course, I get treated like I'm a horrible person because I didn't go to these people. Well, many of them, I did try to go to them. They were busy talking over me without being assaulted. When I've got a 50-50 chance of running into a friend or somebody who's going to assault me. Maddie Boa was very popular in the druggie community. She sold a lot of meth. Starbucks is open. I might get me a coffee. Oh my God, are you people open?
What's that?
Oh my God, are you people open?
Yes.
Perfect. Alright, now let me find I have money. I would like to talk up coffee in a grande cup with cream.
Got it.
Oh, and a stir stick, because your sugar's on the other end of the counter there, and I can stir that myself.
Yep. Alright, would you like a receipt?
Yes, please. Or no, don't need it.
Alright. 285. There's C, there's
There's some food. In there. There's a couple other witnesses I was hoping might be there. And of course, coming up to this area does risk me running into Farnsworth. I've had a couple of people tell me that they've seen Molly, but I've had a few people tell me that she's been gone a while. I don't know which is which. I basically try to stay away from all the services and all that because I already know that if I'm assaulted there, they're not going to do anything. If I'm yelled at there and screamed at there and intimidated there, they're not going to do anything. The other thing is, with Farnsworth, it's different with Farnsworth than it is with Molly. Molly's playing head games, whereas Farnsworth does have legit problems, and they should be helping him instead of using him as a roll-through in the jails. They say he's not trying to get help, or he's rejecting services. No, they're not providing him with services that will help him. And they need to pay attention to whether or not he's even capable of making that decision for himself. Is he capable of making that decision for himself? Obviously, between myself and Robert Farnsworth is way the fuck out there. I don't just go accusing random strangers of random shit for no absolute goddamn reason. Now, we've heard from a lot of people. A lot of folks know Robert Farnsworth. Even that officer I spoke with knows Mr. Farnsworth. Of course, they all know me, don't they? All of these officers now know me. And all of them have done things that are, well, quite frankly, against the law. It is their job to investigate. They were there. They had the chance and the opportunity. That officer yesterday, well, he went out of his way to be absolutely non-productive as far as the criminal activities committed against me. I don't feel comfortable going to Fred Meyer's after that. How about you? If you were vandalized in the parking lot, had some crazy lady beating on your vehicle, threatening to kill you, you're trying to help her friend get away, she's threatening to kill him too, she's telling everybody you're stealing stuff that he stole or you lost. And yeah, there's a bunch of that recorded on my YouTube channel here. You blowing me off doesn't mean I'm retarded. And you pretending that obvious signs of abuse against me, signs of neglect, are being shown by me. But it's the fact that I'm not constantly showing them that you use as an excuse to pretend that I don't have those emotions or feelings of fear still. Because I have to force myself to normalize, to sound okay to you. You're not going to take it seriously. When I get sick of going to you repeatedly to try to get you to take the situation seriously, and people end up hurt, that's a major issue. When people end up dead, your number's going up. Mandated reporters do not get any leeway from me. It is your job and your duty. Now, when the police officers get there and they want to talk over me, that is entirely inappropriate. And they know it, the same as the mental health care workers know it. They want to try to make an argument. Well, they don't know much about the law. And they're playing ignorant in this. Every one of them knows that what they're doing is against the law. Mandated reporting. Is that a Class A civil offense or a Class A criminal offense? Your arguments are invalid because it isn't just developmentally disabled adults. I'm also physically disabled and papered. That's right. Like a good thoroughbred pony, I'm papered. Yes, that was condescending as fuck, and you're welcome for it. I believe that Danell Boggs could do the right thing. She could also go, all right, I don't want to get sued, and it looks like I might even lose my job if I speak up, so maybe I should just play stupid. And that could happen. I know a lot of people have done that. They've gone out of their way to play stupid after the fact. But that's one of the things about being able to record it live, is that it's instantly up there. The recording with Danell Boggs, if I'd have had to record that on my audio recording device, which I actually did, by the way. It is recorded on my audio recording device. I recorded it on both. Now, if I hadn't been able to record it live, and I'd only been able to do so on my audio recording device, we could be looking at days, maybe even weeks, before I'm even able to find a place where I can process it. And in the meantime, I've been victimized to the point where I don't have very many places I can go. Now, library is always the last-ditch effort. But now that I have a library card, I can get myself a room there. And it will be quiet. But I'll also, of course, have to watch my back there because it's not like being in a regular public place. If a cop comes and messes with you at the library staff are 100% on the side of whatever happened, they don't care, just get the hell out of here. If there's cops showing up, there's usually an issue and the library will ask you not to come back, whether it's your fault or not. Of course, there's a situation with Vicky Rain. She sold me this picture-perfect unicorn of help that she was going to provide and the things that she was going to do. But as we all know, unicorns are fictional. When it sounds that great, it's probably not. Chances are pretty good that she's one of those folks who doesn't feel right unless she's controlling someone. She likes the validation of being told she's right, but also she's got multiple personalities. And am I allowed to speak up about that? Yes, I am. Because on the one hand, you're not supposed to go running around telling on other people's disabilities. But on the other hand, if those people's disabilities are resulting in you being harmed, something does need to be done about it. Me being physically harmed and emotionally harmed, psychologically harmed, financially harmed, threatened, harassed, intimidated, this is not fun stuff. having people stalk you for over a year. You ask for some help stopping it, and your friends treat you like shit or outright ignore you. And then the person who started it gets her brains blown out. And it makes it even worse. And all these places, they don't want to look up the name Natalie Bollinger. They don't want to look up the situation like Dr. Arata did. Dr. Arata did not agree at all with Scott DaCosta's assessment. Now, Scott DaCosta told all the people in the hospital that I was schizophrenic, so they just assumed. But see, here's the thing. Scott DaCosta cannot diagnose schizophrenia, and none of these doctors can diagnose whether or not something is delusional. If you can prove it, it's not delusional, though. And the only way to get a doctor to believe that I am delusional is for that doctor to not look at the evidence that I am, in fact, telling the truth. If I'm in their office telling them that I have the evidence, it means I have the evidence. We can look at it. I mean, my car is parked right outside of their place, and I did take some of my evidence in with me. One thing that's important to note is that these officers can do this to any one of you at any point in time. That woman who was raped in Adams County, Colorado by an officer. Now, mind you, this is Adams County, Colorado. The very same county that Natalie Bollinger got her brains blown out in. A 27-year... broken toe. A 27-year veteran of the force was taking a woman who was at the hospital home, a mentally ill woman, and he thought that he could rape her on the squad car and get away with it. Well, for most people who are called mentally ill, you can't go to your friends and family because they're not going to listen to you. But for this lady, she was lucky enough to have friends or family that did listen. Kind of like Zayd Atkinson and Samuel Leon Lawrence IV. People did listen, people did care, and people did try to turn it in. But they didn't have their names slandered the way mine was, did they? Well, I didn't even know these people. I still fought for their rights because I recognized that their rights are also my rights. Now, when it comes to magical ones, let's put on my little hat here. It's warm. It's getting chilly out. It's hot pink. I like the color pink. No, it's not salmon, but if I were to call it salmon, I would call it pink salmon. Because I'm manly like that. Now, of course, you see a man wearing a unicorn blanket. You think to yourself, man, what a weirdo. Hey, it's warm, and I like unicorns. I like pink. I like purple, too. Now, being weird, does that make me a predator? Does that mean I'm going to hurt people? Does that mean I'm going to harm people? Or does it just mean that I'm different? Well, you guys are telling me that I have to be accepting of the LGBT community. I've been protecting the LGBT community since before it was popular. I'm not afraid of the color pink. I'm not afraid of black people. I'm not afraid of Mexicans. And that's where most of y'all's hatred comes from, is fear. You guys fear the mentally ill. Oh, you mean you fear a mother who is depressed and lonely and sad and crying because, well, her baby died in childbirth and her boyfriend couldn't handle it and left? You really want to pretend like she's going to hurt you? Mentally, she's not in a good place. That is so true. But that doesn't mean that she's a violent person who is out to harm you. That doesn't mean that she's schizophrenic or delusional. We got somebody typing on here. Um, let's see. Someone calls himself Doozy Capone typed, "Hey man, have you ever heard of Discord? We would love to have you here with us." I've been on Discord. You're probably with Colorado Donkey Watch, I'm assuming, or one of his sites. I was plugged in with that for a while. The problem is it's a troll network. It's like going to Earth Space Dock on Star Trek Online, the video game. He typed, "No man." You should look up the name Natalie Bollinger if you don't know who I am. Chances are pretty good you came to me because you saw one of your true crime networks had my name on it. If that's the case, which one did you come from? If you're a casual click through, I'm sorry you got stuck baited here. Doozy Capone typed, "I'll send you an invite, like, if you like." I have Discord on my computer, but the login stuff I don't know how to do. I've been overwhelmed with a lot of other stuff, and Discord doesn't really help me out. Casual. Doozy Capone typed, "I've followed you for about 2 years now, I believe. Will you speak up? I can give you the Tillamook number. Any of you on here can call them." Explain to him about the situation. See, I've been stalked across state lines. I've been stalked across multiple jurisdictional lines. That guy from Hood River stalked me all the way here to Tillamook. Chris Kurth stalked me across Chapel, Nebraska, and also in Lodgepole. Doozy Capone typed, "No, I don't want to cause any troubles, honestly." Well, how would that cause any troubles, calling it in and telling the truth? That's one of the things I speak out about. Kind of like John Apollonius. If you see somebody molesting a child and you don't turn it in, and they molest more children, it's not your fault they molested the first one. It's your fault they got away, and therefore it is your fault they're still out there doing it. For me, the stuff that gets me heard is what? The stuff my predators do to me. That's what gets me heard. There's the videos where I talk nice and calm and collective, and then there's the ones that I scream on. Which ones they post up about in the YouTube group that you got this from, or the Facebook group, or the True Crime Network that you watched. How many people are involved in that site? How many people watched it before you watched it? How many people have watched it since? There's a lot on here because I make a lot of effort. I also do it with very little. And a lot of people have expectations, and that's fine. But they should be clear about those expectations from the start. Doozy Capone type, "Do you have predators following you? Question mark. Yes, I do." Type up the racist old guy from Hood River. Doozy Capone typed, "You're like 40 years old, LOL." Zach Leby typed, "Yeah, I'm right here, Doozy." You guys are on Discord. Alright, well, I'm still taking screenshots. That way, if you guys end up being trolls from one of Colorado Donkey Watch's sites, you're easy enough to get rid of. I've had multiple people getting a hold of me here, claiming to be doctors that didn't get a hold of me, claiming to be autism advocates, claiming to be legal advocates, claiming to be all sorts of things. Outright lying the whole step of the way. And of course, like with the Kara Johnson Miles situation, if the people who saw her doing that had helped to turn that in instead of me having to go in alone and get blown off and given the mentally ill treatment, Kara Johnson Miles wouldn't have been able to slander me in court. It wouldn't have gotten far enough that I had to light a fire, literally, to get something done. Uzi Capone typed yes, come on Discord. Zach Lieb typed I'm going to bed with your ex-wife, David. And Doozy Capone typed I'm no doctor. So yeah, they're trolls. Being able to take screenshots of it is nice, but that ends up with, of course, my phone being full of evidence. Me trying to find a way to download it onto some device. I gotta remember the special code to get it transferred over. We got someone named Nia trying to make a heart thing. Nia, are you also here from Donkey Watch's Discord? I know from time to time people get on here from Colorado Donkey Watch's site. He's actually the one that let me know the name of Waylon Lolatai, because I didn't even know Waylon Lolatai's name. I wasn't sure which officer it was, and one day I was watching thing with Waylon. It was a thing with Waylon Lolatai. It was like, that's Lolatai? Yeah, that's Lolatai. Hell yes. Now I know who it is that I've been trying to turn in. By that point, I'm not even sure how many months I'd been trying to turn him in, but they wouldn't let me because I didn't know his name. Nia typed, I love you. Well, thank you very much. I hope you're not another troll. Zach Liba typed, is Nia your girlfriend, David? And Doozy Capone typed, what is Colorado Donkey Watchers? So yeah, we got trolls. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have an ex-girlfriend either. I've never had a girlfriend. I'm not into men or women. There was a time I used to be into women, because that's what I was told I was supposed to like. But really, I just like having friends. I just like being good to people. I like not having that sexual tension there. Many of the women that I've been friends with in my life, the reason we've been friends is because I just assume all women are lesbians. Not as a matter of disrespect, but because I'm not interested in sex. I'm not interested in all the drama. Alright, so Doozy Capone says he's not here to troll me. Well, one of the things about being my friends, if you're a friend, it denotes that you care about me and my well-being. And if you care about me and my well-being, then you would, of course, help me to turn this in. As far as getting onto Discord, I don't have the ability to get on Discord. I'm having to do this on my telephone. Just another one of the issues that I have. Another one of the roadblocks that people don't want to hear or understand that there's consequences to. Doozy type, this is the Discord. Join us. Join if you like, my good sir. Well, if this is your Discord, I'm already on it then. Doozy Capone type, you can get on Discord on your phone. Maybe if I had somebody help me set it up and had room on my phone. It gets to the point on my phone where I've taken enough screenshots that it just starts to destroy the resolution of older videos, which also have important evidence in them. If it destroys the resolution enough, then you can't read it. Let's see. Doozy Capone type, this is the Discord. Join if you like, my good sir. You can get on Discord on your phone. Discord. Do you have an Android or an Apple iPhone? It's an Android, but here's the thing. The stuff that you're going to tell me to do, I'm a computer idiot, okay? People had to help me set up an email address. People had to help me set up this YouTube channel. People had to help me to set up a Facebook and a You remember MySpace? You might not even be old enough to remember MySpace. I'm surprised how many adults are like, what's MySpace? That was what they had before Facebook. Nia typed, organize that car. See, none of this has anything to do with what the video is about, does it? What's the video about? It's about mandated reporters, about them not knowing their jobs, apparently, about how innocent people are victimized under the guise of being mentally ill, too mentally ill to take a police report from, too mentally ill that they can't help themselves but talk over the victim or make excuses. Or, of course, push parts that obviously are not as important. If I'm trying to explain to you about crimes that happened in Tillamook and you want to continually change it, interrupt me to proceed to change it, no matter what. Well, the stuff elsewhere, nothing. This has been national. I've been from one end of the country to the other. If you type up, I came here for help, not to see my friend OD, Sean David, that's on this channel. You can see Brett Roloff's house, what that was like. Or you can also type Jamie again on this channel. You'll see a very, very tiny adult woman being physically assaulted by a man twice my size. He pushes her. You can't see that on the camera. But that's when I get out of the vehicle and start filming it. I'm like, all right, if he fucking hits her, pushes her, shoves her again, it's gonna be on camera, and then he can be prosecuted. She cannot defend herself against him. What does he do? At least 100 feet, he follows her and fucking socks her in the back of her head. And out of all those people there, all those homeless people, the majority of whom are drug addicts or alcoholics, primarily drug addicts, talking about it's never okay to hit a woman. Many of the people there have literally raped Jamie. Many of them have literally beaten Jamie. When they have a bad day, they take it out on Jamie. And yes, as a witness to abuse against an at-risk adult, you may call Adult Protective Services and call it in. You may call the police and call it in. Alright, so Doozy Capone is telling me to go to the Play Store. Basically, he's not hearing anything I have to say. Go to the Play Store on your phone and type in the search box Discord. You'll find it. Changes Zach Leby, type changes good. Doozy Capone typed, I don't mean to get off subject about your video topic. We just want to come in here and talk to us and be our friend. That is it. And then Zach Leba typed PP for PP. What I'm after is justice and an end to this violence, an end to this pain, an end to victimizing the most victimized people in the country. 60% of those killed by police last year were homeless, out of a population size of only less than 600,000 in a nation with 330 million people. It's about 0.18% of the population are homeless, they claim. But then we got to look at the fact that 81% of those incarcerated, and mind you, that also includes those homes for felons, halfway houses, places like that, they also consider. Those people, well, they're getting help because they're felons, getting help because they were released from prison, getting help because they were guilty. Now, how many of them were actually guilty? If they were homeless, it doesn't matter. They're easy to roll through. You call them mentally ill. Doozy Capone types, I have no idea who these people you were talking about. And then he types 666, and do you have Cash App? I'm gonna get rid of that Zach feller. Zach, right? I can send you a few dollars for McDonald's. You know, I got kicked out of McDonald's about a week ago because I was recording. Got to record in public. No, I don't have Cash App. That's the thing, is that I need help setting this stuff up. I'm a computer idiot. This is one of the things that they've taken complete advantage of, is trying to force me to do it by computer. Yes, much of the evidence is on the computer, but it takes a lot of money to try to get all this stuff done. Doozy Capone typed, if you're homeless. You know, I live in Tillamook, Oregon. My P.O. Box number is 701, Tillamook, Oregon. You can send me something there. If you send me something to McDonald's, a McDonald's card or something, I won't be able to use it here, but there's a possibility that if somebody else is going to a bigger city for a doctor's appointment, that I might be able to go on a doctor's appointment with them, set it up so we can both go, and then I might be able to feed us both at McDonald's while we're there. But as far as Tillamook goes, it took so long for people to actually do something. All right, well, Zach Liba is being a troll. Same thing we're doing to Zach Wright. We're going to... Oh, come on now. Hide user on this channel. Blam! Zach Wright is gone. And, of course, what are we going to do with Zach Liba? Hide user on this channel. And it's that easy. It's that easy to get rid of trolls. But not in real life. On the internet, you got all sorts of great and grand ideas. In real life, it's much different. A lot of people want to pretend that the victimization is only on the internet. No, people victimize me in real life over the shit that's on the internet. Things that other people wanted to say and do that were untrue, and didn't care if they were true or not. I was never allowed a place where I could actually sit down and go through my evidence in peace and fucking quiet. The one time I had actual place where I could do it, when I was in Chapel Housing, that was when Jen Beebe would not do her job or return her phone calls. Nicole Peralta wouldn't do her job or return her phone calls. They were court ordered to do that job. When I was being victimized, I was supposed to go to who? Mandated reporters. I was supposed to go to my case manager. Now, apparently, Penny Cooper was supposed to be my case manager, but she wasn't a case manager. She didn't do the job of a case manager. She wasn't interested in the job of a case manager. She didn't care who hurt me. Telling her about it, well, she'd just tell me to go to Marcia Estrada. I got to turn these crimes in. That's why I was sent to you, lady. That's why I was sent to Nicole Peralta. That's why I was sent to Nicole Jarrell. That's the reason that I was sent to Jeff Ritter, all therapists. It's also the reason that I was sent to Veronica Bruce of Region 2, Nebraska. The cops won't listen. I need an advocate so that they will listen. If a crime is committed against me, I need an advocate to help me turn it in. Help me to get heard. That's what an advocate's job is to do, is to get your voice as a victim heard. If you're being victimized because you're disabled, your advocate's job is to make sure that your voice is heard. Not to argue with you for 6 months. Obviously, in the video Sean Holloway 1, he was talking about how, according to him, Meg Missigatis was supposed to be a go-between between me and the sheriff's department. That was my understanding, her understanding, and their understanding at the very start. Then there was always some reason why she had to spend half of our time that we had together talking about her personal life, why she can't do this, she can't do that. So I learned everything there was to know about her in like the first 2 weeks. Oh, I'm so scruffy. Anyway, mandated reporters in all of these places. I always went to mandated reporters. Veronica Bruce used to be an old friend of mine, but she was a mandated reporter too. Veronica Bruce, Jerry Sparks, Veronica Randall, Chloe Pachovis. There's a lot of people I went to. Chloe Pachovis didn't become a mandated reporter until afterwards. But how many other mandated reporters did I go to, over child abuse and otherwise? The police and my friends, whether it be Jerry Sparks or Amanda Daniels. It didn't matter. They didn't have time to listen to what was going on. They didn't have time to hear that I was being victimized, or specifically how or by who. When I tried to explain them who at the beginning, it didn't work out so well, did it? They didn't have time to even listen. When they say they would help me, they wanted to procrastinate until it no longer meant anything. The things that people wrote and said, hey, Sean, I tried to help you. I wrote that thing. When? And did you try to help turn it in with me? Because when you didn't, see, I know the truth. I know you didn't actually go in with me to turn it in. And the cops treat me like I must have written it. I must have made it up. How do they know that I didn't write that? Always some excuse. Now, the help that I tried to get is the help that you are supposed to have from the very start so that they can't make those excuses, so that it is recorded. And that is to go to a friend or family member and make sure you record everything. As a disabled and at-risk adult, I do have the right to record literally everywhere I go, even a public restroom. Isn't that amazing? As long as I'm not video recording you peeing. Because there is a legitimate safety risk for all disabled people in this country, especially if they're homeless, and especially if they are male. Let's see, Doozy Capone types, do you have a gun? No, I don't. I don't believe in carrying firearms, especially as a homeless person, because that becomes a safety and liability issue. You really can't go carrying around a rifle, especially when you're getting harassed everywhere that you go. Having a rifle, people will just pretend like you were pointing at them. They don't need any evidence. They'll just pretend like you did. They'll take your gun, they'll lock you up. As far as the handgun goes, where are you going to put the handgun? In your backpack? That's a stupid idea. If it's unloaded, well, you have all sorts of ways for debris to get into your firearm. And if it's a firearm, it probably won't take much debris getting into the action for it to stop working. That's why you want to make sure that you got the magazine, and the magazine well prevents any sort of various debris from getting in there. But if you got it in your backpack and you're carrying it unloaded, then you're going to get debris in there when you need it. Or is somebody who's shooting at you going to allow you to take the time to pull your backpack off your back, open it up, pull out your firearm, clear out any debris or obstructions that may have gotten in it in your backpack, and then you put your magazines in, and then you got to still cock the slide backwards or rotate the cylinder. Rotating the cylinder, that takes even more time. I mean, when you're talking about revolvers, yeah, a gun's just a bad idea. You put something like that in a backpack and it's loaded, just because you got the safety on doesn't mean that you're not going to bump the safety with something you got in there. Oh, of course I don't have a gun. Guns are a bad idea. There's a lot of bad ideas. Anyway, I try to make it so that my YouTube channel, people can read the comments on the sides. But sometimes on the phone ones they don't do that. So I don't understand why it won't. Um, it'd be nice if I could actually watch the live feeds on the phone ones, because sometimes I get some pretty interesting characters on here that they've been watching for a while, and they start typing about stuff that they'd seen and their personal take on it. I'm like, yeah, and imagine if a jury saw that. For those of you who type about the evidence that you've seen, what about the people who get on here and type, hey, where's all this evidence you keep talking about? I'm going to have to drive down to the other end of town so I can stay in a parking lot that people like to party in this time of year, like last night. I do have some possible help for tomorrow. I'm down to jack shit for money, though. I mean, that situation with Vicky Rain didn't just screw me over monetarily. Didn't just screw me over for several weeks of severe anxiety about my evidence. Don't fuck with my evidence. I don't know how she expected it to turn out. What I really need these people to do, because I know that all these broke folks don't have the time, don't have the money, don't have the resources, especially the ones with kids and jobs, to do this with me. They need to look at it enough that they understand how unsafe a situation I am really in, and that's difficult because, again, many of them don't have time. Between looking at evidence and playing a game on their phone, they're going to more than likely play a game on their phone or watch a YouTube video or, well, much like you guys, when you come to my channel for entertainment. I know I'm just entertainment to you. Now, am I coming on here because I'm entertainment? No, I come on here because I'm trying to get my voice heard. I'm trying to find that one person who doesn't see this as entertainment, who wants to get actively involved in speaking out. But you can't actively speak out if you're hiding your name, hiding your identity, hiding who you are. That's not help. It doesn't help the victim at all. Now, I really, really hope that you guys understand that most of my predators have guns. All right, these police officers, they've got guns. Ted Bollinger, even being a multiple-time felon, enough time felon that he should be locked behind bars permanently. And then he gets busted with methamphetamines and a firearm in Colorado. And so did his daughter, by the way, just methamphetamines. Then Ted gets busted again with methamphetamines in Colorado. Then his daughter and he go to Oklahoma, get busted on a high-speed chase from Oklahoma to Kansas with 18 grams of methamphetamines. Holy shit. People worry that I might have a gun or that I might be on drugs. Out of all of this, there's only one time through all of it that I've had any sort of that nastiness ever come up on a whiz quiz. And I literally had to go to the hospital to tell them, hey, I was just poisoned. My hospital paperwork is on my YouTube channel on that. So is the conversation with that doctor from Hood River. That video is on my YouTube channel. It's called Felon Doctor of Hood River. These guys will literally ignore all of my disabilities because they want to see paperwork. But I bring paperwork and they won't look at the paperwork. Say, I can't look at that. Well, why not? Why not? You'll believe whatever a fucking porker tells you, but you won't look at any actual evidence. And then you'll tell me I have to show you actual evidence. Well, I'm trying to show you. I bring it in to show you. I bring it in to show the cop. The thing about having this stuff on my YouTube channel, I shouldn't even have a YouTube channel. If I was able to turn this stuff into the cops, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. Now you guys get to see how Sammy Leon Lawrence IV got $95,000 after Boulder police claimed they didn't do anything wrong. You get to see how Zaid Atkinson gets $132,000. Sorry. And what did he get that for? Because although the Boulder Police Department claimed they didn't do anything wrong, well, the taxpayers seem to think differently on that one as well. Michelle Rodriguez is trying to fight her case. She needs help, but she is actually homeless. She was actually homeless when the crimes against her were committed by Officer Waylon Lolatai, whereas Sammy Leon Lawrence IV lived in the house. Zaid Atkinson as well. So they actually matter. Plus, the color of their skin means that BLM cares. A lot of people want to tell me, oh, well, you know, why don't you just go to the KKK? Do I have blonde hair and blue eyes? Do I really look like KKK material to you, dude? I grow Jew curls. My ancestors on the Russian side and the German side, the Russians were Russian German Jews. The Germans were German Jews. That was my ancestors who came over to the United States. They were Jewish and converted to Christianity quite rapidly. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Eventually you get tired of the Christians slaughtering you wholesale. So you start believing in Jesus. And they kill you less. Anyway, I'm going to end this video. The thing is, these guys are all completely full of bullshit and looking for any excuse not to do their jobs. But they still want to get paid, don't they? They'll still have me come back, won't they? They'll still send me in circles for 6 months from one service to another. Every time I go there and sign my name on that piece of paper, they get some of your tax dollars. But I don't get the help that I'm being sent there for. I'm sent to places that are just a switchboard, as they say. Their job is to send you on to somebody else. Whose job is to send you on to somebody else. Whose job is to send you on to somebody else. Oh, we don't actually do that ourselves. We just give you the number for resources. I've got hundreds of those calls recorded on this YouTube channel. Everybody plays fucking stupid. The difference between them blowing me off and taking it seriously comes down to whether or not you give a shit. Do you give a shit? No, you don't. It's just entertainment. To these trolls, it's interactive entertainment. To the other victims, it's comfort food to know that they're not the only ones going through it, or that somebody might be going through worse. God bless America. Anyway, I suppose I should probably go locate a bathroom. Obviously not at the Fred Meyer's or the McDonald's or the Denny's. That's the thing about having to go through this for so long, is that none of these people took it seriously. The folks at Denny's didn't take it seriously. The folks at Fred Meyer's wanted to blame me for being victimized. I didn't choose for that lady to have multiple personality disorder or to make false promises. What Vicky Rain did, you know, maybe it's because she's mentally ill, or maybe it's because she's a controlling nut job. Maybe it's because she's got multiple personality disorder. Maybe it's because she's a controlling nut job. But either way, the events are the same. Whether somebody meant to harm me or didn't mean to harm me does not reduce the harm. If you run over somebody's 5-year-old, whether you did it on purpose or not, that 5-year-old done got run over. That's the reality of the situation. When somebody has a black eye because somebody punched him in the face, does it matter? If it's a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old that you run over, does it matter? Are they any less of a victim? Are they any less dead? If you punch somebody in the face who's 50 years old, or somebody who's 75, or somebody who's only 5, what's the difference? It's still wrong, isn't it? How about how wrong it is to allow literally hundreds of people to threaten, harass, and intimidate an innocent man who is disabled and get away with it because he's disabled? Allow them to continue doing these things for years and then say, oh, well, it's your fault for speaking up on YouTube. No, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that people continue to sell slander. It's not my fault that the cops chose not to do their jobs. It's not my fault that the people who sort of accepted me were primarily druggies. It's not my fault. I don't choose to have Tourette syndrome. I don't choose to be autistic. I don't choose to have PTSD. It is what it is, right? How many of y'all say that? If you punch a 5-year-old, a 50-year-old, or a 75-year-old in the face, and they get a black eye, and they try to turn it in, it's not okay to lock them up for trying to turn it in. It's not okay to try to pry and twist their words into something that makes it okay for you to lock them up and make it somebody else's business. Man, I don't want to deal with these hobo crazies. Let's make them go to the hospital. Let's send them to the hospital. This fucking crazy hobo keeps coming up and talking to us about people abusing them. Fucking, I'm sick of talking them over him. Let's just take him to the hospital and say he tried to kill himself. Fucking punk asses. Alright, good. That worked. It also hurts. Anyway, me having to live in places where it's illegal to live, or against the rules to live, being forced to stay in parking lots, or I gotta go to a campsite that costs $30 a night. I gotta live on disability money while doing all of this, in a piece of shit car that's falling apart because I can't afford it. I can't afford to keep taking hits like the shit with Vicky Rain. Or that crap with Molly. In both of those situations, Vicky Rain victimizes me, and Rob at the Fred Meyers wants to be a fucking dickhead to me like I chose it. Like I chose another person's immoral and illegal actions. No, I did not. Vicky Rain chose that. I bet you Vicky Rain can still go back to the fucking Fred Meyer. The situation with Molly, all she had to do was play victim, and I'm the one victimized. By the way, fuck you, Rob, you're a bitch. Boycott Fred Meyers. Anyway, good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper. And no victim left behind. By the way, my predator, Sandy Fromm, has guns. Chris Kurth has guns. Clint Snell has guns. Leslie Snell has guns. All of these officers have guns. And obviously, based on Ted Bollinger's history, they're just going to keep letting him out. And he is not legally allowed to own a gun, and still he has access to guns. So I guess I am the definition of a paladin. Holy warrior in a foreign land with no weapon. Of course, I'm not much of a holy warrior. I'm not a part of any of your religions. As far as a foreign land, I was born here. I was born in the United States. I was born in Nebraska. I'm in Oregon, though. The part of Nebraska that I was born in is Pawnee territory. Nope. Scotts Bluff, I believe, is right on the edge of Pawnee and Cheyenne territory. And both of those were slightly migrant. The Pawnee were primarily farmers. Without a weapon, well, technically, the definition of a paladin would be a sword, but I don't have a sword. I don't have a gun. Of course, I also took Duke's Rune Ninjutsu, and they said that everything is a weapon. I tried to argue with my sensei. It was Master Carnes. I said, really? How about a hair? He said, yeah, you can choke to death on a hair. Good point. There's a man by the name of, God, what's Jeremiah Morgan's dad's name? I think it's Dave Morgan. He choked to death on a pine needle. A pine needle. Alright, good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's, and no victim left behind.